with some drink coffee snacks and things like that. Number three, weather. Let's have weather in mind because the weather can change dramatically fast in Bogota. We can have basically all of the four seasons of, well, in nature happening in Bogota the same day. What is the only thing that we do not get? Snow. It will never snow in Bogota despite the elevation. This, you might think, oh yeah, we are very high, should it snow, would it snow in here? Not at all, because we are only 5 degrees away from the equator. That means that in Colombia, we only get snowfalls above some 5,000 meters of elevation, over 18,000 feet of elevation. No winter sports in Colombia, by the way. So if you're thinking maybe doing some snowboarding, skiing, no, that's not going to happen in Colombia, unfortunately. So my friends, let's get to it. Our project, Beyond Colombia, started offering this kind of free walking tours in Bogota already 10 years ago. We have been the pioneers in this field of tours, and we have always started right here in front of this jewel of Bogota. By the way, I would like to know, for who of you is Bogota the very first destination that you are visiting in Colombia? Very first place. There you have it. You arrived today, yesterday, 2 days ago, maybe, yesterday, yeah. For who of you is maybe the last destination, the very last? You have been in Colombia already for a couple of months, some weeks, 1 week, yeah. Well, and anyone, did anyone leave Bogota for the middle of your trip? No one, very good. So you did the logical thing. You either start in Bogota or finish in Bogota. So hopefully it's going to be a very good first impression of the country or a long-lasting last impression, precisely. So that you can maybe discover another destination in South America, or maybe, why not, go back to your country of origin and plan your next visit to Colombia. Why not? There are plenty of excuses to come back to Colombia. And one of them is the Gold Museum. Has anyone been to the Gold Museum already? Yes, not yet, but you have it in the plans, maybe. So, well, how was the experience in the Gold Museum? You like it? Was it nice? Yes. Would you recommend it to other travelers? Definitely yes. How much did it cost to enter the museum? 5,000 pesos, 5,000 Colombian pesos. How much is that? A little bit more than $1, a little bit more than €1. In Bogota, you are going to find out that the museums are either free or very affordable. Most expensive museum in Bogota costs $10, and that is the foreigner price. Imagine that. While in other locations around the world, museums can be incredibly expensive. Over here, something that is quite cheap, and the collections are impressive. In the case of the Gold Museum, it is the largest collection of pre-Hispanic gold pieces all over the world. Not only the Americas, not only the Western Hemisphere, it's all of the world. Does anyone work in the Federal Reserve of the US or any central bank in Europe or Oceania or anything? No one? So I can assure you that you are not going to see as much gold reunited in just one single place as you would see in some other locations around the world. If you do not have anything to do with these central banks, this one is going to be a great experience because you are going to be entirely surrounded by gold pieces. I don't know, when someone, maybe some of us are told, hey, why don't we go to a museum? You're like, museum, okay, let's go. Don't worry, you can do express visit inside this place. You can go straight to the third floor. It's going to take you about half an hour, and you are going to be able to something like this. The essentials. These are the two star pieces of the collection of the Gold Museum. We are talking about the Muisca boats, or Muisca raft, dating back to the 1200s after Christ. And in the lower part, we have the Poporo Quimbaya, which has been traced back to the 800s after Christ. Both of them made of very fine gold alloys. The raft, made of 20-karat gold alloy. The Poporo, which is a vessel, it is a container, it is made of 16-karat gold alloy. So yes, what we are talking about that is stored in here is priceless. You cannot really put a price tag on that. We could maybe weight everything, but that is not going to give us a true idea of what it does really cost. Questions? We have? And who were responsible for making this? Not the Incas, not the Aztecs, not the Mayans. Those are typically the most famous native cultures that lived in Latin America before the Spanish arrived, right? Cultures of which you have never heard about. I can also assure you that. Muiscas, Zenúes, Nariños, Chocoes, Quimbayas, Calimas. Have you ever heard these names before? I don't think so, right? What about the name Tayrona? Tayrona, you have heard maybe about that one, because some of you may be planning to visit, or you have been already to the Tayrona National Park in the north of the country. And yes, they were the most important native culture to live in that area before the Spanish arrived in the 1510s. and they also manufactured gold pieces. And generally speaking, it is said that the Colombian native cultures were the masters of goldsmithing back in those pre-Hispanic times. The Incas were also big goldsmiths, but they didn't produce as much, and unfortunately for them, the Spanish plundered most of the treasures that they had in their hands. Questions, doubts that we have? And one final note, something that you are also going to experience in the Gold Museum. What comes to your mind when you think about El Dorado, that expression, El Dorado? Listo? Perfecto, So okay, we're going to move a little bit more over here, still behind this throne. And yeah, keep thinking about that El Dorado, and you are going to tell me what comes to your mind. There are several different answers that are valid.
El Dorado is a place where they think there's a lot of gold. So Spanish El Dorado kavala. They thought like cities were built by gold. That was the dream for everybody, but they didn't find until now, I think. But a metaphor.
So okay, my friends, El Dorado, what comes to your mind? What does it remind you of? A lost treasure, very good, nice. In the form of what, more specifically?
Gold.
Gold, exactly, That's basically made up an entire city. A city in which everything was made of gold, right? Well, maybe you remember a movie, especially, yes, exactly, the ones that are in that generation, that you are maybe mid-20s, late 20s, early 30s. You remember The Road to El Dorado? Animated movie, great production, by the way, DreamWorks, one of the first animated DreamWorks pictures, and it talks precisely about that. If you were thinking about the airport of Bogota, you were also right. Yes, because this one is the country of the golden one. And no, in Colombia, naturally, we don't have a city in which everything is made of gold. In fact, Bogota, let's be fair, it looks pretty gray, a little bit depressing sometimes. But well, the idea is that you, of course, discover the hidden treasures of this place. Well, the legend of the city made of gold might have originated as well in the Colombian territory, but because of this. This is what we normally call, in our country, the legend of El Dorado, or the ceremony of El Dorado. It was actually the coronation ceremony of the kings of a native culture that lived in this part of Colombia, where Bogota is located. And that ceremony involved the future king being covered in gold dust from head to toe. So imagine each one of you covered in gold dust from head to toe. You would shine under the rays of the sun. You would be anointed with the powers of being the new leader, right? And then this future king was accompanied by shamans and warriors on the important boat that was floating over a sacred lake. They rode to the center of that sacred lake, and attention to this, they threw hundreds of gold pieces and emeralds into the waters of the lake. Let's also imagine that I took you to one of these legendary lakes, right? And I told you, hey guys, let's honor the gods by throwing all of our jewelry. Would you honestly do it? Would you take your earrings, necklaces, rings, and yeah, just go, guys. Let's honor our gods for that new leadership that we are going to have in our lives. I don't think so, because we give gold that monetary, and why not? There could be a sentimental value attached to it. The natives didn't have any of those considerations. They actually considered gold to have mostly ornamental and especially ceremonial values. That's why it was easy for them to throw all of these into lakes that they consider sacred. Guess who eventually found about these ceremonies and about the location of these lakes? Very easy. The Spanish, exactly. The Spanish located these lakes. And from this lake in particular, which can be visited today, Guatavita Lake, 2 hours and a half away from Bogota, it is estimated that they extracted up to 600 kilograms of gold pieces in between the 16th and the 18th centuries. So yes, it is nowadays open to the public, but now it is a natural reserve. Are there still gold pieces in here to be found? Yes, but not even archaeological excavations are allowed in here. It has recovered its sacred status. So please, if you go, because this one is actually a great trip outside of Bogota, no fishing for gold pieces, no scuba diving, and no excavating around the lake, okay? Because you could get lucky, why not, and maybe find a small figurine of gold. Questions? Do we have? No, very good. So of course, my friends, invitation to visit the Gold Museum. Last access is at 6 p.m. by the way, it closes at 7 p.m. And the Guatavita Lake, if you have flexible plans, it is a great trip. so that you can discover also the surroundings of the city. My friends, if you look around, any familiar name that you look, if you look all around, names,
The airline's name over there.
very
Avianca.
good. The name of the national airline of Colombia. Maybe you have used its services. How has it been? Because they have, the standard, to be honest, has lowered, especially since the pandemic. They don't even give you a glass of water, unfortunately, nowadays. It's a shame. But well, it's still the biggest airline in Colombia. And these were their original headquarters. And it is, in fact, the oldest skyscraper of Bogota, dating back to the early 1970s. Is strategically located here in what it is the second most important public space of Bogota. And it is ornamented also by the statue of that poor character over there that got his face completely covered. You see, in our cities and in several towns in Colombia, there is a certain lack of governance. So whenever something like that happens, the authorities maybe would wait for 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, 5 years to get rid of that. It's a shame, because that is the statue of one of our most important heroes of independence. When you think about leaders of the independence in the Americas, one name may come to your mind.
Simon Bolivar.
Bolivar, exactly. That one is quite famous. Well, you see, Simon Bolivar would not have been anyone if it weren't for the other guy. Now we can finally see the face of the guy. On the outer side, that is Mr. Francisco de Paula Santander. That is the other important hero of the independence in Colombia, one of the founding fathers of our nation. And you can always recognize him because of his nice stylish mustache. Yes, look at that nice 19th century mustache, finishing tips, pretty special. And now you know that he was one of the joint commanders of the patriot armies that fought against the forces of the Spanish Empire alongside Simon Bolivar. To put you in context, real short and real brief, before the Spanish arrived, it is estimated that there were over 300 different native cultures in the Colombian territory. Then from the 1510s to 1810, we had the colonial times. We were a colony of the Spanish Empire. We were known as Nueva Granada, New Granada. And what was the name of Bogota? Santa Fe. Santa Fe, which is the name of this district of Bogota as well. Santa Fe. By the way, it is also the name of the best and only football soccer team that plays in Bogota, period. Yes, if anyone tells you a certain blue team or a certain green team that supposedly play here in Bogota, that's completely incorrect. Do not believe those stories. They do not exist. They are completely irrelevant. Whatever you name it, we don't talk about them. So yeah, Santa Fe, colonial name of Bogota. And then from 1810 to 1819, we had our war for independence. And these guys were the ones that led that charge against the forces of that Spanish Empire. Questions? We have here, very good. So well, the first Republic of Colombia that was created after the process of independence is this one. Maybe you have seen this map before, maybe not. This is the map of the Grand Colombia. And yes, since 1821 all the way to 1830, this was the full extent of our country. Had you seen something like this before? I don't think so, right? Did you know about the concept of the Grand Colombia? Or the Greater Colombia? Some of you, yes, very good. But the majority, I don't think so, right? Yes, our territory was also constituted by Venezuela, Ecuador, and even Panama. All of that was part of Colombia. And who were naturally selected, chosen as the first rulers of that country? Bolivar, the president, and Mr. Santander, the vice president. And which was the capital of that territory? Not Cartagena, not Cali, not Quito, not Caracas, where Bolivar was born, and certainly not Medellin. Yes, exactly. I put plenty of emphasis on this. Certainly not Medellin. Medellin, by the way, has never been the capital of Colombia. It will never be able to be the capital of Colombia. That honor always came to Bogota. Yes. And who designated Bogota as the capital? Bolivar, because of three main reasons. Number one, the temperature. Honestly, please tell me, how are you feeling with the temperature of Bogota? Yeah, comfortable. A little bit too cold, yes, exactly. I agree with you, please. Yes, because I was born in Bogota, by the way. But I am more comfortable in temperatures from 28 all the way to 40. Yes, that's my field. That's my terrain. basically from 88 all the way to 110, more or less. But yeah, for me, Bogota is a little bit a tad cold, but I think that for the majority of you, is quite comfortable and enjoyable. Maximum temperature ever recorded in Bogota since records are kept, 25.8 degrees Celsius. That is the warmest ever in the history of the city. Yes, about 78, 79 Fahrenheit. And what is the coldest ever? 5 degrees Celsius, about 50 Fahrenheit. So it never gets extremely hot, nor extremely cold, and that means that you are basically Bolivarian, because just like Simon Bolivar, you enjoy the temperature of this place, and that was one of the reasons to designate Bogota as the capital. Number 2, fertile soil all around. Around Bogota you can cultivate easily potatoes, tomatoes, carrots, lettuce, spinach, strawberry, and I could keep on going. Blessed soils, blessed lands. Number 3, location. Who would like to point the location of Bogota in this map? The volunteers? Okay, please. I'll go for it. Oh, look at that. Your name again? Paul. So, well, Paul's GPS is calibrated wonderfully. Yes, working great, because he put his index finger right here where mine is right now. So yes, it is a very central location, as you can see, in relation to the rest of the territories. So thank you, Mr. Simon Bolivar, for precisely cementing and keeping the tradition of Bogota being the capital, because even in colonial times, Santa Fe was the capital of all of the colonial institutions. Questions? We have? Yes?
Why do you have a resentment against
Okay, great. Danny is asking something key. Why do we have a resentment against Medellin? Well, less than a resentment is a dispute and a competition that we have with the city, you know? And well, let's face it, the people of Medellin are not very nice when it comes to recommending Bogota, well, actually not recommending it. Yes, when we have travelers that start the trip in Medellin, or that for some reason go to Medellin before Bogota, and they reveal their plans to the locals, they're like, oh, you're going to Bogota? What are you going to do over there? There is nothing to enjoy in there. Just spend some more days here in Medellin. 4 or 5 days. Bogota could be missed altogether. So yes, they don't think that well of us. We actually recommend Medellin a lot. I enjoy Medellin a lot. But of course, there is always this competition to have the first this, the first that, and it is all in good banter. It is true. Some would feel a certain kind of resentment. Yes, not me. I do it more like a tongue-in-cheek thing, just playing. But there are people that genuinely feel more resented towards Medellin. And well, there is something that doesn't help our case as well. Which one is the only city in Colombia with a metro system? Medellin, exactly. Something that not even Bogota has been able to build. More on that in the next stops. Questions? We have? Yes. Okay, very good question over here. Was Santa Fe the capital of the different colonies of the Spanish Empire in this part of the world? Very good. It was the capital only of Nueva Granada. Only of Nueva Granada. Then we had Mexico City as the capital of New Spain, Lima as the capital of Peru, and Buenos Aires as the capital of La Plata. Right, Santa Fe was only this part of South America. So, okay, very good, my friends. In another stop, we're also going to talk why the Grand Colombia ceased to exist. What was the reason behind its fall? So now we walk over here, and now we're going to see a series of beautiful colonial churches, which are located around this park, Santander Park, remember. We have the 3rd Franciscan Order Church, 1780s. In front of us, the Church of the True Cross, 1650s. And on the side, the white tower that you are going to see on the left area, that is San Francisco, St. Francis, dating back to 1612. Second oldest Catholic church of all of the city.
¿Es el mismo?
Sí, es el mismo. Estoy viendo si pues está allá. Sí, el grupo de... Listo, perfecto, porque tenemos el grupo en español y en inglés. Entonces depende... Sí, es lo mismo, sí. Entonces, Luz de hecho está allí. Si quieres pasar al español, allí está. ¿Nombre, disculpa? ¿El nombre? Rosana. Entonces, sí, no, como te digo, Rosana, aquí tenemos total libertad, ¿verdad? Es en inglés, es en español. Luz viene justo detrás de nosotros.
del 312.
Brian, why did they cover his face?
Yeah, well, that's something for which we still do not have an explanation. Huh?
It's a protest.
No, because you know the figure of Santander is not. Oh, sorry. The figure of Santander. Well, you know, no Colombians have a problem with the figure of Santander historically. Yeah, he's actually seen as a guy that was more balanced than Simon Bolivar, that was more educated as well, that actually wrote the first constitution of the country almost by its own hands. So I don't know. Well, there are still certain groups among younger Colombians that have been re-evaluating, like reassessing the way in which the national heroes have been presented. So there could be a certain reaction that you know we should get rid of like this reference and these symbols.
Okay, got it.
Yeah, I find it outrageous that the authorities have not been able to just take away that plastic pattern there. So easy. But let's tell you something that is part of that lack of governance that sometimes we suffer here in Colombia.
Got
It's
it.
the same with the Madrid, look at that. And that it even affects the historical buildings.
So, okay, group, we're going to place ourselves over here, closer to this building, so we give space to the pedestrians that are passing. Yeah, there we go. And well, my friends, now we have arrived to one of the most iconic areas of Bogota that has been portrayed in movies, in soap operas, especially soap operas, what we call telenovelas in Spanish, in different TV series, by the way, that could be available on Netflix. It is basically like our Times Square, like our Piccadilly Circus, you know, like our Etfoin, if you think about Paris. It is the most famous crossroads of Bogota, with the crossing of the Jimenez Avenue, right over here, and we also have the Carrera 70, the Carrera 7, which is historically one of the most important north-south axes right here in Bogota. What important features do we have in these crossroads? Number one, a look at our mass transportation system. In short, in brief, we may even see one of the symbols of Bogota. Its red and yellow buses, the Transmilenio. Actually, in our city, we have one of the longest rapid transit bus systems built in all of the Americas. And it is the most convenient way to move around Bogota. We also have the former headquarters of El Tiempo, the true and only newspaper of Bogota. It was created in 1911, and since then it has become the most influential piece of printed media in all of the country. And yes, born right here in our capital. The building is no longer owned by El Tiempo, but the new owners decided to keep the original Art Deco buildings. And the clock is surprisingly working. Yeah, exactly, look at that. Public, clocks usually do not work that well here in Colombia. Number two, the Henry Ford building, where the McDonald's is located. Of course, we don't care anything about McDonald's, unless you maybe have this, I don't know, a guilty pleasure from time to time. I will have it maybe once every 2 months, more or less. Why not? I fall on it. What a shame. Well, apart from the McDonald's, a very important industry based in Bogota operates over there. It is a nice example of Art Deco architecture, late 1930s, and it houses the majority of a series of workshops that deal with mineral products. By the way, when you think about Colombian exports, legal Colombian exports, please. I don't want to hear anything about illegal stuff, only the legal stuff. What comes to your mind?
Coffee?
Coffee, very good. That's the number one export that we identify with Colombia. Another one? Emeralds, very good. Nice, great. Now you know it, for the ones that maybe were not familiarized. What else? Chocolates, great, and final, for the one. Anything that you can think of? Anything? Oil, very good, and you nailed it. Why? Because oil is the number one export of the country. Yes, now you know it. Crude oil, petroleum, that's the number one export. There we go. One of the symbols of Bogota. There we go. There we have the Transmilenio. Yes. For the good or for the bad, it has become a symbol of the city. So, number two export of Colombia, coal, mineral coal, carbon. Number three, coffee. Number four, gold, is still to this day. And number five, flowers. Cut flowers, especially roses. After the Netherlands, we are the second largest exporter of cut flowers in the world. Top 10 is computed by, in order in particular, bananas, cacao beans and chocolates, textiles and confections, nickel, and the emeralds that you were mentioning. And that building concentrates the majority of emeralds cutting and faceting workshops of Bogota. Have a look at how the emeralds arrive to that building. Raw, uncut, directly from the mine. That's how they arrive to the Henry Paul building. And in that place, they get cut and they get faceted, they get treated for the use in jewelry. So, what is the status of the emerald industry in Colombia? One of the most important all over the world. We are the second largest exporter of emeralds in the globe, after Zambia in Africa. But the quality of the Colombian emerald is unparalleled. Look at this beauty that Angelina Jolie is using around in different galas and ceremonies. And you also know it now, Angelina is the biggest ambassador of the Colombian emeralds abroad. Unofficial ambassador. Please, if you may be running to her, don't tell her that we are using her image. She might charge you some copyrights, right? But well, the thing is that she loves her Colombian emeralds, as well as other celebrities. If you are interested in getting some emeralds for yourself, that's not the place to go. No, because that's where they get transformed, basically. Which are the main trading points? I'm going to show you to show them to you in a moment, and you can find emeralds for as little as $20, 18 euro. Genuine emeralds, lower quality, but still something that has been in the crust of the Colombian soil for millions of years. Questions that we have? No, very good. So now we're going to proceed here. So emerald mining power, printed media power, and now those are the others. Science mining all over the place. So if we're going to come here, please, we're going to place ourselves looking towards the other side, so you can much better appreciate the San Francisco Church. Another jewel of colonial architecture. Just like Cartagena. Has anyone been to Cartagena already? Cartagena, yes. There we have it. Well, the architecture in Cartagena is beautifully preserved. That's why it is a UNESCO World Heritage Site. Yes, it's going to have a tourist nature, but still, I feel so good in Cartagena. I don't know, Cartagena is something that really charms you, and you are just invited to lose yourself in those streets. In Bogota, we have a smaller old town, but the level of preservation is quite good, especially in the upper areas, and that's what we're going to see in this tour. In this area, which is closer to some main business districts, there is plenty of movement. We have some scattered buildings here and there, and that's one of those structures. San Francisco, 1612, over 400 years old, pretty old for the Latin American standards, second oldest Catholic church of Bogota, and look at the treasure that it hides. This one is the largest retable covered in 22 karat gold leaf in all of Bogota, and one of the largest in Colombia and in South America. The church is open until 5:30 p.m. approximately. And does it charge anything to enjoy its beauty? Nothing. Absolutely nothing. You don't have to pay a penny. What is the catch? No photographs are allowed. What can you do? You can put your phone on silent mode, go all the way to the back, check that there are no guards around, yes, and then you pop out your phone, oh, I got a message, you open your camera, and voila, there you have your picture. Of course, be careful to check that the flash is off, and then you are going to take a picture as beautiful as mine, because I took this picture, by the way, for the books. That's how I got it, that's the truth. It is one of the very few churches in Bogota that doesn't allow for pictures. Questions? On the side of the church, we have the San Francisco Palace, a nice example of neoclassical architecture. We're going to see some other examples here and there. That was destined for governmental and official uses originally, late 19th century. Nowadays, it is a huge building set for different kinds of media productions. And finally, the financial power of the state, just behind me. These are the headquarters of the Central Bank of Colombia. So that means that part of the gold reserve of the country is located right here. That's why they try to take security around. Plenty of guards, police, cameras, everything. It is one of the most heavily guarded areas in all of this. Questions? Nope. So here we go. Well, actually, the place where we're going to finish has one of the most complete bookstores in the
Not about my book. My dad's friend owned it.
Ah,
So it's like 78 years old. That was a cheap And all you remember was Carrera 7, librería y galería Humboldt.
Ah, the Buchholz. I have heard the name. I don't know if it keeps operating in the city. That's the Caravaggio, right? And the Caravaggio was the commercial thing. That's the
Having a good time?
Yeah, the name is very good. So okay, group, well, let's come over to people a little bit more. Perfect. So my friends, remember the name of the district where we started? Santa Fe, exactly. Yeah? Now I give you the welcome to the district of La Candelaria. By crossing the avenue, we have entered the district that contains the majority of the old town of Bogota. Yeah? In how many districts are we divided? 20 different districts. Yeah? Why do we have such divisions? In order to manage the city in a much more efficient way. Because after all, Bogota has a population of 8.2 million people. That is the population of Bogota proper. Yeah? We're not talking about only a small, maybe, I don't know, subdivision, or maybe a suburb of Bogota. No, this is the population of the city proper, 8.2 million people. Yeah? And if we count the population of the metropolitan area of Bogota, that number jumps to 10.5 million people. How many persons live in Colombia? 52 million. So that means that 1/5 of the population of Colombia lives in this part of the country. Yeah? It is a city of no one and everyone at the same time. A proper metropolis. And you can see the diversity in the buses precisely. Yeah? We're not very busy. Yeah? I can say that. Why not? Yeah? So yeah, plenty of people arriving precisely to their destinations, universities, working places. Yeah? This is one of the main gates to enter La Candelaria, the Rosario Square, which is flanked all around by the Rosario University. Its original cloister, dating back to the 1650s, can be seen over there in the background. We are going to have a much better angle when we move into that area. Questions? No, we have? No? Very good, my friends. So now, we are going to move into that area over there. So the group, let's gather over here by this area. Ladies and gentlemen, what could be happening over here? Plenty of people reunited over there, maybe having a break from their office work, right? Maybe having a cigarette, a coffee, maybe just chatting about the daily happenings in their life, waiting outside a governmental building. No, that's actually the live emerald market of Bogota. That is the Wall Street of emeralds of the city. Basically, you can acquire emeralds in both a formal and an informal way in this city. What is the formal way? There is a building just one block walking by this street, the Jimenez Street, it is called the Emerald Trade Center. That's where we have all of the sort of center. All of the traders that you see over here, very nice, very friendly, always helping you with whatever you are looking in the field of emeralds. But when it comes to protect their market, they will take all necessary measures. This market of emeralds has operated here for the last 80 years. How many robbery attempts have we had? Only 3. What happened with the guys that dared to rob from these guys? Yes, they took the appropriate measures. They don't even need the intervention of the authorities nor the police. They're not going to wait for that. They will just do whatever is in their reach to protect each other. So well, you can try your luck either in the Emerald Trade Center, where everything is formal, as I was telling you. Again, you can use your cards. Over here, all of the transactions are either done in cash or through cash apps that naturally only function in Colombia. What is the other obstacle in here? The language. Because the majority, well, actually 99% of these traders wouldn't speak a word of English. So it is also a great opportunity to practice your Spanish. Why not? Trying to get the best deal for a certain emeralds. So, while we have this light rain, we still have plenty of the traders just standing around, maybe waiting for the ideal customer. At points, we're going to see some clusters of people that start looking at some white envelopes where they have the emeralds, and then they start to check the color against the light of the sun. Well, we don't have that lot of sun, but still the sunlight. They check for the imperfections, the transparency, the brightness, and they will establish a price. Depending on the quantity and the quality of emeralds, they are going to be sold by unit. The price is going to be per unit, or it's going to be per carats. How much is a carat? 0.2 grams. By the way, this emerald that I showed you before, this emerald is called Fura. It is the largest emerald crystal ever mined from Colombia. It weighs 12,000 carats. So make the math. It is about 2.4 kilos of pure emerald crystal. Today and tomorrow, I think that is going to happen in the Emerald Trade Center, but I have not confirmed. There is an auction that is open to the public in which 180,000 carats of emeralds are going to be auctioned off. So imagine that. That's where the big business takes place, in the Emerald Trade Center. Questions? We have?
Is this legal?
Is this market legal? Perfectly legal, because they are marketing with something that is not an illegal substance, for example, or maybe a controlled substance or anything like that. Emeralds are perfectly legal. It is just done in an informal way.
But they're not collecting taxes.
They are not collecting taxes. Yes, exactly, very good. They are not paying any royalties. But under the eyes of the authorities, it is just an informal activity, like the person that sells coffee on the streets or cigarettes or food, etc. Yeah. I do know they should pay more royalties, but well, this one is a very powerful and influential lobbyist group. Yes, emerald miners and the companies that have come behind, which are mostly American and Canadian. They have also technified much more the extraction of emeralds. Questions?
Here in Colombia, you only get green emeralds or any other color?
Okay, very good question. In Colombia, do we get emeralds of different colors or only green? Only green emeralds in a range that goes from bluish green all the way to yellowish green, but always with green being the dominant tonality. Yes. So my friends, yes, exactly.
What do you say is the average cost of a carat?
Of a carat. Average cost of a carat, this comes down to the quality itself. For example, a very high quality emerald, the carat would be in the region of some maybe $500 in itself, starting in that. Yeah, for better than average emeralds. Lower quality emeralds, the price of the carat would be in the region of $50, maybe $60. That could be. And for the lower quality emeralds, very low quality, those are sold per units. So you can have, for example, a single emerald about this size, low quality, that will cost you about $30. That's it. So you are going to see all of that range of emeralds right here. So my friends, now time to move. We're going to sneak a little bit around the market so that you can see the live activities going on over there. By the way, had you seen something like this before in your trips? That something as valuable as emeralds and all of these gemstones were marketed in a public open space? I don't think
No,
so, right?
none.
No, not
No, they only accept cash, right?
Yes, over here it's only cash, exactly, only cash. And by the way, yes, How are they obtaining these emeralds? The emerald mining areas are located just 6 hours away from Bogota by land. So they come directly from there. You are going to find over here both unpolished, uncut emeralds and also single gemstones that have already been faceted. ¿Cómo le va? You see, this is precisely one of the traders that shows us the goods. So look at this. These are tinier emeralds. These are more lower quality. ¿Esto lo está vendiendo por unidad o por quilate?
Por unidad las vendo también. Si quieren comprar de a una, yo les vendo de a una.
¿Y cuánto estaría una de estas, por ejemplo?
Pues se las voy a dar por unidad. La que más vale es esta.
You see? This one, this darker one, would be more expensive. The darker the color, you see?
Esta,
it's going to be more expensive.
100,000. La otra es de 40,000.
Per unit, this would be 40,000 pesos on this side, and this one would be 100,000 pesos. So this $10, and this approximately $25, more or less. You see? Very affordable. And they are already cut and faceted, and genuine emeralds that you can actually have tested in the Henry IV building. That's where the labs are located as well. Listo, señor. Sí, no, esto pues, fíjate. And yes, look at how the quality starts to change as well. It's going, look at the packets that they usually have in their internal pockets of the jackets. Estas ya son 250,000 pesos. These are larger, as you can see, in size. And because of the size, they are going to increase in that price. This would be, estas por unidad 250. This would be 250,000 pesos, which would be around, some 7 por 4, about $65, more or less, per unit, because of the size. So yes, look at that, all genuine. If anyone is interested, go for it. If you would like to return afterwards, I'll also be my guest, so up to you. The gentlemen over here are always very nice to show up the goods and of course try to make a business. Listo, y señor. Entonces, en caso dado, volvemos algo y... And these are now exactly pendants, but these are uncut emeralds, by the way. These are known as canutillos. This is the natural crystallization of emeralds. Agrientos, and these are 500,000 pesos, about $120, more or less. You see, all of the ranges of prices, all different kinds of budgets.
Oro de 18.
Perfecto. And 18 karat gold. Listo, perfecto. Entonces, si acaso, entonces yo los...
Gracias, thank you.
¿Y su nombre? Disculpe. José, Don José. Yes, one of the traders that has been here, as you can see, for decades. Yeah, uno de los especialistas. Listo, señor. Entonces, cualquier cosita. Listo. Eso, listo. Okay, as you can see, plenty of gray hairs, plenty of experience that is seen over here, years of experience. And yes, as you were pointing out, mostly men. There are some ladies, some women around, not too much. They are making their way, but slowly, very slowly. Here. Yes, exactly. It would be a good idea to, well, maybe you would like to be accompanied before doing business, trading the labs, and you would say there's a place.
6 hours వెళ్ళి నీకు ఎమరాల్డ్స్ మైనింగ్ చేద్దామంటావా ఇవన్నీ కానీ
So look, if you look to your right, so you are going to see more of the trading of emeralds.
Good morning.
Morning, look at that. You see some of the traders, practice their English. Good morning, good afternoon. Morning there. See? And yeah, you would think there is quite little security over here. As I told you,
¿Solo cigarrillo o vas a tomar algo?
What are we doing with the rain? It's still not that bad. Oh, group, yeah, nice and easy over there. We try to, go around these different obstacles, traffic signs, people walking fast. And now we are going to definitely have a drizzle. So if you need an umbrella, you can stay with me. I have an umbrella with capacity for another 4 men.
Also, I have another question. So you mentioned mentioned at the church that we passed by El Tiempo, that's one of the second oldest
Exactly.
church. So what's the oldest? The oldest church in Bogota.
The oldest is located close to the main square. Okay, sorry, I'm just going to help you around over here. Yeah. Okay, here we go. Good. Yeah, that's the way to do it, Rebecca. You just go into the streets, and you will force the cars to a stop. That's it. So, group, one quick note over here in this corner. If any of you, dear travelers, follow the vegan or vegetarian path, this one is a recommended place in the old town because let's face it, it is not that easy to find vegan or vegetarian options in an animal protein oriented country as Colombia. So this place is great, Loto Azul. It also offers a daily menu that is full vegetarian or full vegan. So, here. Sorry, name again? Ernest. So you arrived just at the moment in which you're starting, right? Yes.
Almost full.
Ah, okay. Paul. Nice to meet you.
Sorry for coming a little late.
No worries, you arrived just in time. Yeah, it must have been the traffic. Traffic in Bogota is
Really late for the Uber.
pretty bad. And the Uber sometimes takes. Where do you come from, by the way, Paul, Ernest?
From New York.
Greater New York? The city? Or upstate? Well, you might have been to some Colombian Independence Day celebrations. Queens.
Oh, no, I don't know about my uncle. Probably. But there are a lot. There are a lot.
So you go, keep it coming, the water. You go.
When I was a child.
How is the rain so far? Not bad? Yes. Perfect. Now we keep on going. Please be careful with the obstacles that we have around. There are some missing tiles, missing leads. There are some more obstacles that are of the organic nature, the droppings left by stray dogs that move around. So yes, we're going to be very watchful. Have you been there? No. I have been to West Coast. Yes, I think I have been Los Angeles, San Francisco. But not to New York. My brother has been to New York. But well, eventually one day. Yeah, we'll be able. That's always nice. See, a different environment, something like here, see New York. Yeah, that'll be very exciting.
Is there a big Colombian group in California too?
Not as big as in the East Coast, but there are. The majority of Colombians that have moved to the US and have had their children, in New York, there is one person.
ఆర్డర్ తీసుకురండి రెయిన్ కోట్
So, okay, group, we are going to consolidate a little bit more, like to concentrate a little bit more, so we can cross the streets easily. Well, remember, we have a big umbrella over here, and hopefully this is going to be just a passing rain. We'll see how it goes. The most important thing is that it doesn't become stronger. Okay, here we have our window. Remember to go always by the sidewalk, please. And now we are going to have some very large eaves where you can get some protection from the rain. Uncle and nephew, huh? Yes. Are you visiting only Colombia or are you going to visit other countries?
I've been
So you are living here in Bogota.
Temporary, yeah. Short term, as a study Spanish.
Oh, I see. And how are those lessons going? Huh?
It's going good. Spent 6 weeks in the school. Spent 6 weeks in the school, and I got to the top level.
అది వెనిజువేలా ఫ్లాగ్ అండి
Yeah, it's going good.
ఆ కలర్స్ వెనిజువేలా
So, okay, group, quick stop over here. We're not going to expose ourselves that much to the rain. Now you can see that the urban landscape has changed. We start to see this wonderful Spanish colonial architecture with its clay tiles, plenty of woodwork. We also get to see some more Mediterranean-inspired buildings, like the one where you see the Mirin Conferences Bakery. Great French-inspired bakery and great Colombian coffee, by the way. If you're looking maybe for something for the mid-afternoon snack, or maybe you would like to have something like my lunch, that one is a great place. And if you come over here, you're going to see a great Europe that also has certain French inspiration. It almost looks like a street that was fully transferred all the way from a southern French city all the way into Bogota. These were the residences of the members of the French diplomatic mission, the ambassador, the consuls, the families. Nowadays, it has been transformed into a normal residential space. So group, now we keep on coming over here. Another great example of colonial architecture over your right. The Silva Poetry House. It is a cultural center that promotes the art of poetry, which is being lost more and more in our modern times. And again, remember, sidewalk, we're going to use the sidewalks. I promise that when I become mayor of Bogota, I'm going to pedestrianize these streets for all of our comforts. One day, I dream with that. Yeah, I get rid of so many cars that's crossing here, you know.
Is it a one-way street?
Yeah, no, it's a one-way street. That's
So
good news.
okay, so it's good.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Safe from that matter. You know that cars are only going a certain way.
I know.
But the same cannot be said about bicycles and certain motorcycles. Yeah, they might go against the way of the roads, just to save time. There we go. We have a good window over here. Same window to cross. And okay, my friends, we can cross into these spots. Look at that beautiful piece of street art. All around, we're going to see to have many different examples of murals. And well, my friends, for the ones maybe not having an umbrella, you can get rest from that rain over here. We have a little bit of an overhang. And by the way, how are we doing with the elevation so far? Feeling it?
Not really.
Not bad? Not great?
No, I'm not feeling it.
No, no, okay, very good, nice. That's nice. You can prepare, maybe you did some high altitude training, maybe not, I'm not sure. Well, I can see that some of you actually do resist much more with the rain than some of us. I am made of sugar, as the majority of Colombians, so that means that we are very weak when it comes to rain. Even a light drizzle like this, it is chaos for us. We are scrambling for getting an umbrella or getting somewhere where we can get some protection. even with the slightest of rains, we could get a very serious cold. So yes, we are pretty sure made of that. And we eat way too much of that, to be honest. We also eat too much carbs on top of that. Maybe you have already noticed that for the ones that have been in Colombia for some time. In the same plate, we can have rice, pasta, potatoes, and maybe plantain. Why not? Yeah, that's a winning combination. Alongside with the animal protein and the green vegetables. So yes, we are carbohydrate lovers, but look at us. You see, and I think that you have noticed that the people that walk around are not that obese. In fact, not obese at all. Obesity is not a problem in this part of the country. Why? Because at this elevation, your bodies burn calories and carbohydrates faster than normal. Great news! If you feel that you are having too much carbs, don't worry, you are going to burn that real fast, in a snap, right here at this elevation. So good. Now, getting into what this place means to Bogota, we have arrived to the Concordia neighborhood of La Candelaria districts. The subdivisions of the districts are neighborhoods. Remember how many districts do we have in Bogota? 20 exactly. Each district has its own number of neighborhoods. In La Candelaria, we only have 7. That's it. Only 7 neighborhoods. It is the smallest district of Bogota, but at the same time, the one with the most beautiful examples of colonial architecture, and the one with some of the best examples of street art as well. In a moment, after 14 or so, we're going to cruise through this street, which has some wonderful murals, usually dealing with themes like the natural diversity of our country, ethnic diversity, and plenty of them spin around the topic of chicha. Remember that word that you yelled at the beginning of the tour? Chicha. Has anyone tried chicha, by the way? Because it is something that can be consumed. Not in Colombia. You tried it where? Panama. Who else tried chicha? Oh, where? I'm right here. Okay, very good. How was it? How was it? Delicious? Okay, you drink alcohol. Yeah, because it is alcoholic, by the way. So if you like maybe a little bit of alcoholic beverages, this one is the drink. So my friends, now we are going to walk towards the yellow building over there. That one is the Concordia Markets. And before I give you some free time, we could not try some chicha. It is very likely that the place is going to be closed today, since yesterday was a holiday. But don't worry, in another spot, we might be able to try that chicha, which is going to be different to the Panamanian one. Yes, definitely better. Okay? No, of course. It's not because Panama was part of us and now we have a resentment towards them. No. We have good relationships with Panama today. So group, now we go over there. Please be careful with the stones. They could be quite slippery.
Le vamos a gorrear el tour.
Sí, señor. Ah, claro, sí, señor. Con mucho gusto.
Downtown, but you are to appreciate the panoramic view.
Okay, getting better. No, well, just a little bit, like 10% better.
English, very good English.
English, yeah, exactly like English rain. Exactly. Yeah.
Rains, then get wet, then you wet.
Yeah, exactly. It's like this kind of sticky rain. At the beginning you say, oh, this is manageable. And then you're like, wet. This is the little rain of Bogota. And that's why we say that the city has certain similarities with London, with Belgium, Denmark, and the northwest corners. Cloudy, forecast, this breeze, this constant shower falling. And okay, group, great spot where we get also some more protection. We can just stay under here, under this tree. Yes, just in case we have one of the hop-on, hop-off buses that operate in Bogota, just in case anyone is interested to see other areas to see. Remember, it is very large. In fact, how long is it from the northernmost to the southernmost point? 42 kilometers, about 30 miles. So yes, it is a vast urban area. And if you would like to have a bird's eye view of this city, you can always visit Montserrat. Maybe not at this hour of the day, hopefully in the afternoon it gets better. Who has been to Montserrat already? We're here? Yes, we're here, very good. Did anyone walk all the way up to Montserrat? Oh yes, guys, very good. Anyone else? No, yeah. Did you walk down from Montserrat as well?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, applauses for you. Yes, exactly. Great effort, great physical effort. So you must be a big hiking enthusiast.
Yes.
Yes, exactly. How long did it take to go up? 1 hour, look at that, yeah, exactly that. On the average for a local. Are you from an elevated area, by the way? Do you live in an elevated city or not? Vancouver, by the sea, look at that. And they did it in 1 hour, huh? It took me 1 hour and 20 minutes, guys, huh? Only 4 months ago, huh? And I'm a local, supposedly I'm a local, and it took me 1 hour 20 minutes, huh? So just great effort because you did it on the normal average time for a Bogotano. What is the absolute record going up to Monserrate? 70 minutes. Yes, 70 minutes jogging all the way up to Monserrate, yeah? What is the record coming down? 4 minutes, 17 seconds. Yes. How was that even possible? Did someone fall from the edge of the mountain? Was recorded? Maybe a slide that comes down? Well, it actually involved a vehicle, a BMX bicycle. And now it makes sense. A French rider posted the records already 5 years ago in a race organized by your usual suspects. Which company? Red Bull, exactly. Red Bull organizes yearly a downhill competition, and it has also organized base jumping from the mountain into the city. Yes, jumping from a helicopter into the summit of Monserrate. And there was also a rope walker that went from the tower of the Church of Monserrate all the way to the nearby mountain of Guadalupe, which you will see in a moment. A total of 3 kilometers that he covered in about 2 hours 48 minutes. Balancing over that rope, don't worry, he never fell once. Yes, we know what would have happened if he fell, but yes, it was a great effort from him. So well, you have 3 different options to get up to Monserrate. Number 1, the hike, free. By the way, today the trail is closed, on Tuesdays it's closed, and it actually has quite a limited operating time from Wednesday to Monday. It opens at 6 a.m. and closes at 1 p.m. so that you have it in mind if you are going to do the walk. It's not going to work in the afternoon, only in the mornings, okay? As for the transportation systems that go up there, cable car and funicular, they operate from 8 a.m. all the way to 10 p.m. So you have a real nice ample window to visit Monserrate and to enjoy the views. By the way, I don't know how were the views in front. Was it cloudy? Was it clear for the ones that went? Clear, for the ones that went, Monserrate? Was it clear? Cloudy, but still you could see some parts of the city. How was for you? Fog, yeah. Yes, that's what can happen in Monserrate, especially at this time of the year. Hopefully you will go when you see that there are relatively clear conditions, but the weather conditions, have in mind that they could change dramatically fast. Questions that we have?
Better in the morning or the afternoon?
Great question over here by Denny. Better in the morning than in the afternoon? Generally speaking, it's better to visit in the morning. But there can be rare days, like today, in which it could potentially be better in the afternoon. There is usually a higher probability of rain in the afternoon in Bogota. So it is just a matter of checking the mountains whenever you are planning going to Monserrate. Okay? Final picture of Monserrate that we can point out, the basilica that is built on top, it houses the patron saint and protector of all of Bogota, the fallen Lord of Monserrate, which is a figure of Jesus Christ falling on the ground. Very unique. It is also very dark skinned, almost like a black Jesus Christ. Questions? Nope. So now we're going to proceed over here. Another nice colorful street on that side. Rain has definitely subsided. I just feel a couple of droplets. If you look to the other side, we have the tallest skyscraper of Bogota and of all of Colombia, the Bacata Piri Tower, 67 floors, over 200 meters tall. It's still modest if you compare it to buildings in the Middle East or parts of the US, right? But well, it's still a nice symbol with its staircase design.
Estoy con Karina. Para el primo tengo peto.
Perfect. So you see, my friends, here we have a little bit of farmers markets taking place over here. So you are actually going to have that possibility of exploring it around. We have handcrafted jams and water. We have milk, caramel, coffee. You are going to find also fruits, plants, and in the interior of the building, inside the market, you are going to find also places where you can enjoy a fruit juice, fruit salads, coffee. Why not? Ideal for this time of the day. Is it too early for a beer? No, exactly. There you have it. I know that in some countries it's not never early for a beer, so why not? You could also try chicha, maybe, if the place is open. There is a place called La Chicheria, where you could try some chicha. If not, don't worry. I'm going to organize a little bit of a chicha tasting in the neighborhood, in La Concordia. There is a store of fine chocolates, by the way. I cross fingers that is open. They have this ginger chocolate. Oh, that is so delicious. It has a real nice, intense flavor. I cross fingers that is open, because remember, yesterday was a holiday, and on Tuesdays there are some businesses that might be closed. We also have places where you can find some coca tea, coca products, which are illegal in most of the world. They will be legal only in Colombia, Ecuador, etc. So if you are thinking about getting it back to your countries of origin, forget it. It's not going to work. We also have places where you can have empanadas, arepas, and very importantly, toilets. In the backyard of the building, you are going to find a backyard where there are tables, seats, etc. You are going to find the toilets. No toilet paper available, so it is a good idea that you, hopefully you have maybe your own tissues. If not, you can ask maybe for some napkins in any of the business around. They will do you the favor. So questions about this? So my friends, right now, being 11:24, I'm going to see you again over here at 11:45. About some 20 minutes, so you can explore, relax a little bit, get something to drink, to eat. And the entrance would be right there. Okay, 11:45. I will see you in the same spots. Minus there and right.
ನನ್ನ ಅಡುಗೆ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ ತಾಯಿ ಕಾದು
Así, pero el niño, pero ese es el carro de él, ¿cierto?
¿Qué dijo?
2 kilos, no está doña Luisa.
No le veo frijoles de
granada. Claro, le quitamos las sedes. Nos vamos a la edición. Sí, hágale, claro.
ఇక్కడ తిరిగి వస్తా కొనుక్కోరా
sour. This one is sweet, delicious.
Efraín?
Visita Colombia. Ah, perfetto. Bizcocha. My favorite.
Enjoy.
Very good for taking it straight and also for juices. It's delicious, this type, okay? Let me show you some other. You know star fruit? Yeah. You have this? Yeah. Yes, you have this. Star fruit. Also we have it here. No, this is called Lupa, but Lupa is a variety of cashew. But it's the same flavor, both. Okay? And here we have, you know, pitaya. Do you know this?
Page seva? Page era first.
And here finally we have very sweet. Do you know chirimoya? No. Some people know around the world chirimoya, but I say only like the same thing.
ఇప్పుడు తీసుకో ప్రైస్ డిసైడ్ అయింది కదా
Ojo ahí, amor.
If you want to try any juice, the place is in here. Most recommended place. Let me show you something. Buena. ¿Qué tal? ¿Cómo están? ¿Bien? Do you know lychee?
ఎంత అన్నాడు
It's like a lychee, but it's a kind of weird. Okay. Well, in the same family of lychee, we have this is the mamoncillo.
బాత్రూమ్కి ఏమైనా వెళ్తావా
They put a little bit of molasses. They leave them in.